Okay, kids. It's about 10:15 p.m. on Wednesday, March 12th. It's been a little bit of a day. Let's do a Daily Hawk. What the hell? I'm Hawk. I'm your host. Let's do a little news recap. ICE agents return all migrants from Guantanamo. Okay, so the Trump administration was spending $800,000 per flight to fly like 8 guys down to Guantanamo Bay. The Trump administration has abruptly cleared out all of the migrants that they were holding at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, returning all of them to the United States. The move comes days before a federal district judge in Washington, D.C. is set to hear a case on exactly this. And they're like, oh, we're going to lose that? We're going to lose that? We're okay. Hey, bring them back. This headline, Steve Bannon won't rule out running for president. Oh, man, said Steve Bannon. I don't think like a politician. All I do is back President Trump and try to move the populist national agenda and the American First agenda. But he won't rule out running for president. Okay, whatever. I would pay money to see that campaign. I got to tell you. Wow. Okay. Senate Democrats won't help pass government funding bill. Yeah, I'm not holding my breath. I will wait to see what happens at midnight on Friday when the government runs out of money. And if they don't pass a funding bill by midnight on Friday, then the government shuts down. I'm not listening to jack shit from Senate Democrats. Sorry, guys. Donald Trump disparages federal workers he fired. He said, I feel very badly, but many of them don't work at all. Many of them never showed up to work. Many of them never showed up to work. So Fat Nixon Pervert Hoover doesn't like work from home, despite the fact that it saves the government a shit ton of money. Whatever. Donald Trump's favorite Irishman, yeah. He said to the Prime Minister of Ireland, I do happen to like your fighter. Trump was referring to Conor McGregor, the former UFC fighter who is not a popular figure in Ireland, where he has been held liable for sexually assault and has regularly supported far-right fringe figures. Well, but that answers the question. Why does Donald Trump like Conor McGregor? Because a jury found Conor McGregor liable for rape. That's why, okay. Let's see, that I talked about in a different one. Elon Musk is in the process of buying a Supreme Court seat in the state of Wisconsin, a court in which he has business in front of. So he has donated almost $2 million to elect a MAGA justice to the Wisconsin Supreme Court on April 1st. RFK Jr. thinks that everybody should get measles. He said the following. It used to be when I was a kid that everybody got measles. He's talking about chickenpox, but he's too stupid to know the difference. He's talking about chickenpox, but he's too stupid to know the difference. And the measles gave you lifetime protection against the measles. The vaccine doesn't do that. The vaccine has a 97% effective rate. The vaccine is effective for some people for life, but for many people it wanes. RFK Jr. is a fucking idiot. The EU issued $26 billion in retaliatory tariffs against the United States. that far exceeded a trade fight that blew up with blah, 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 blah. $26 billion in tariffs against the United States. Canada today issued an additional $30 billion against the United States. So that all seems to be going well. Gavin Newsom, his podcast, the first episode of his podcast drew 7 million views on YouTube. Elon Musk is donating another $100 million to political action groups controlled by Donald Trump and his political operation. Because, why not? Let's close this out on a good note, on a high note. None of this is going to end well. Written by Bret Stephens, one of my absolute fucking least favorite opinion writers at the New York Times. He's a pompous, smug, arrogant bigot. But he writes the following. It used to be common knowledge, not just among policymakers and economists, but also high school students with a grasp of history, that tariffs are a terrible idea. The phrase, beggar thy neighbor, initially I will admit that I misread that as bugger thy neighbor. Beggar thy neighbor meant something to regulate people, as did the names of Senator Reed Smoot and Representative Willis Hawley of the Smoot-Hawley legislation. That's what I love about Bret Stephens. He always says shit and you're like, okay, I have to go look that up. Okay. Americans broadly understood how much their 1930 tariffs, along with other protectionist and isolationist measures, did to turn a global economic crisis into another world war. 13 successive presidents all but vowed never to repeat those mistakes. So he's saying that tariffs contributed to World War II. Every president since then was just like, maybe let's not do tariffs. And everybody's like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. Let's not do tariffs. Yeah, let's not do tariffs. Until Donald Trump. Until him, no U.S. president has been so ignorant of the lessons of history. Until him, no president has been so incompetent in putting his own ideas into practice. Bret Stephens, with some very wordy and snooty, harsh words for Fat Nixon, Pervert Hoover. Have a great night.